Hello everybody, Travis here for Tpull's Corner, and we are continuing down the rabbit hole of Mythic rare decks. So for the past month I've been making monocolored decks that are composed almost entirely of Mythic rare cards. So you can see that's what I'm drawing. And I kid you not, 75% of my games have been against mono red today. And I have lost almost everything. If it's not mono red, it's like a green-white Selesnya, enchantment creature deck where it's all 2-mana cards. So by turn 4, they've got all the land they'll ever need, and they've emptied their hand. And let's see, that's gonna be 3. Now we're gonna do one more tap land. We'll bring down Blade of the Oni. We expect this to die from removal. They get the land that they need. They won't need more than 4. And they usually get rid of Blade of the Oni with some sort of direct damage. Oh, Urbra's Forge. On curve Urbra's Forge. That's just as bad. Alright, we'll take the 3 there. We'll bring down our Shieldred. And they just want to attack us anyway, right? Alright, let's do Eureka. And they give me the most expensive card in the entire deck. Okay, so that risk probably won't pan out. This is not looking good for me. We gotta wait and let them think. Hello? It took them a long time. They should attack with everything. I guess they're just building up for critical rush. Oh no, they do. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Usually mono red doesn't take this long. We'll take out those 2. Those are like 8 points. And the stuff that I have is not the greatest. Let's deal with this. Let's just transform. This will give me some lifelink if it stays on the board. They don't have 4 yet, so they can't exile Squee, but they could attack with a bunch and pay 2 and bring the Phoenix chick back out. Which technically is fine by me. Alright. We have to block the big gun. We can go ahead and take out this puppy and this puppy, and we wait and see if they've got a direct damage in here. Or maybe a Monster's Rage. They should want to take out Shieldred if they can out of everybody, but maybe they want to remove the lifelink. Okay. They want to remove the lifelink. That is fair. That's legendary.
My will cannot be broken. Better stone than flesh.
They'd run a lot of land. Okay, they exile Squee. They're going to get a big hit with Urbrass Forge, and I don't really have a way to deal with Urbrass Forge with mono black. Still bring that up top. Not the best. I think it doesn't matter at this point. I'll go down to 1. Okay, gives me this. We can go ahead and bring. Yeah, we'll bring this down.
Something suspicious is going on.
Target creature
And for
becomes
once,
a
it's not my
treasure.
fault.
You can go ahead and get rid of the other one.
Sacrifices must be made.
And I can go ahead and swing in for 3 finally. Yes. We get a swap. And they seem to think it's game. They draw a 7. They kept pace with me on land draw the entire time. That's probably why they didn't just zap me with a lightning bolt to the face already. Alright, we have to double block here. Because they might have a lightning bolt. Are we actually going to pull this out? I did not expect that. Sure. I don't know what else there could be, but we'll take that. I can draw a card. 3. Alright, let's do it this way. We transform her now. That gives us lifelink. We attack with Yawgmoth. We decline to take action. We bring down Yawgmoth again and keep this one. And that lets us scry. And we don't need a tap land for our next turn. And then we go ahead and pump this up and have each player discard a card.
You won't be
And
outsmarting me.
I don't think we need to do anything with Vraska. This has come at me with 7. Yet another tap land. 2 tap lands in a row. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Arena. But we got Weatherlight transformed, and we actually pulled it out. Woo! That's like the first time I beat Mono Red today. But we'll go in and show you what the deck is composed of. And while we wait for my puny little computer to catch up to the server, or vice versa, we ask you to like and subscribe. All of the Mythic Rare decks have performed very well. Except today when I'm back in town, I settled down to play some nice games, I'm out of ranked, and I still end up facing almost exclusively mono red. Like it's been 80% mono red, and then a splash of green white Selesnya. All very fast, very cheap decks. And I purposefully didn't build against them just because I'm into the Mythic Rare thing, and I wanted to showcase as many Mythic Rare cards as possible, which means the removal spells are not Mythic Rare. there's only a couple of removal spells in the entire deck. And it's kind of depressing to see that much mono red spilling out of ranked into the regular standard play, because it's always the same deck list. There's no inventiveness, there's no trying new things. There's just, hey, we're all net decking this one deck, and that's what you have to play all day long. So I'm starting to sympathize with all the other content creators out there who sigh whenever Mythic Red pops up, because it's so boring at this point, because we just faced the exact same deck so many times. But anyway, here's what we got. We got one Blade of the Oni, 3/1 artifact demon with menace. You can equip it, turn anything else into base power and toughness 5/5. Here's our 2 removals: Shieldred's Edict to sacrifice 3 different things, either a non-token creature, a creature token, or a planeswalker. 1 copy of Tainted Adversary. We're usually playing this as soon as we can. The games aren't lasting long enough to save up for an extra 3 mana to make Black Zombie creature tokens, but every once in a while it happens. Treasure Map. Scry 1, put a landmark counter on Treasure Map. If there are 3 or more, then we remove all those treasure counters, and you transform it into the land, and you create 3 treasure tokens. And then you have the land treasure cove, which you can sacrifice the treasure and draw a card. So there's some scry and some card draw there. Weatherlight completed, which made red just scoop last turn. If it doesn't, anytime one of your creatures dies, you get a Phyresis counter on this thing. And because it doesn't have 7 counters on it, every time you get a Phyresis counter, you get to scry 1. Once you get to 4 Phyresis counters on this thing, it becomes a 5/5 flying creature. You don't have to accrue it. You just have to wait for 4 of your creatures to die. You still scry every time somebody dies. Then once you have 7 Phyresis counters on it, you don't scry anymore. You get to actually draw a card. So again, just like Treasure Map, a little scry and draw a card advantage built into the deck. This is, now I should point out, this is not a black Mythic Rare card. It is an Art of a colorless Mythic Rare, but it still fits with the Mythic Rare theme, so I added it in. Jaren Corrupted Bishop, 2/3 human. You can, at the end of your end step, if you have exactly 13 life, you can pay 6 mana. If you do, you transform it into Ormondal the Corruptor, legendary demon, 6/6 flying, trample, and lifelink. You see to the right. This is from Innistrad, and Innistrad has the horror theme, so they picked that number 13, the unlucky American number 13, as a trope, and there's a lot of spells involving 13, either 13 mana, 13 life, 13 toughness, that kind of thing. So here's the exactly 13 life. 4 copies of Gix Yawgmoth Praetor from March of the Machines. 3/3, whenever a creature deals combat damage to one of your opponents, I can pay 1 life, and if I do, I get to draw a card. And then you've got the special ability for 7 mana, discard X number of cards, and then exile the top X cards of target opponent's library, and then you can cast any of their stuff. 2 Planeswalkers for Liliana the Veil. Discard and make them sacrifice a creature. Nashi Moonsage's Scion, 3/2. This is ninjutsu, so I could phase it in, sort of. I could bring it in when another creature is attacking in its place, and unexpectedly have it show up and attack. When it deals combat damage to a player, you again get to exile the top card of each player's library, and you can play one of those 2 cards. You have to pay life instead of mana value, so you need to be careful with it. Body Launderer, 3/3 Ogre Rogue. It's got Death Touch. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, Body Launderer connives. When the Launderer itself dies, you get to return a target non-rogue creature card with equal or lesser power from your graveyard to the battlefield. If I can get this up to power 4 or 5, then I can bring back pretty much anything else that's in my graveyard. 4 copies of Enrika Domnathi, legendary vampire from Innistrad. 1/3 flyer, and you get 3 different options. Sacrifice a creature, draw a card and lose a life, or transform her into the vampire Enrika Infernal Seer you see to the right, which has 3/4 flying, death touch, and lifelink. Invasion of Innistrad. Now this is a card that's from March of the Machines, but it's got the 13 trope because you notice it's Invasion of Innistrad. So the designers at Wizards of the Coast took the Innistrad trope and the 13 that was in there. It's a flash spell. When it enters the battlefield, target creature an opponent controls gets -13/-13 until end of turn. So this can be like a trivia question for somebody. Maybe you can do a gotcha on Mark Rosewater someday. It's a 13 trope that's used associated with the Innistrad expansion, but it's not part of any Innistrad expansion. It's from a different expansion. But I like that kind of flavor. right? That they added in that particular thing because they were invading that particular plane. That's kind of fun. Sheoldred the Apocalypse, of course, I have 2 copies. I use 2 copies. I've got Sorin the Merciless for another Planeswalker. Beseech the Mirror, mythic rare sorcery spell to go look for something. Bloodletter of Aclazotz from Eldraine, 2/4 flyer. If an opponent loses life, they lose twice that much life instead. And I finally have my first Phyrexian Obliterator, 5/5 with trample. Whenever a source deals damage to it, that source's controller sacrifices that many permanents. Aclazotz's Deepest Betrayal, another Eldraine Aclazotz card, 4/4 flying and lifelink. Whenever it attacks, the opponent discards a card. If your opponent can't discard a card, then I get to draw a card. If all they're discarding is a land card, I actually also get a black bat creature token with flying, which you see to the right there, that's probably my favorite art for a token bat creature in all of Wizards. And anyway, when this dies, it transforms into land, and if a player, it doesn't matter if it's you or your opponent, has 1 or less cards in your hand, fewer cards in your hand, you can transform it and bring the bat back. Drivnod, Carnage Dominus. If a creature dying causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time, so that could give us some fun with things like Weatherlight Completed. It's 8/3. I can spend 2 mana. It's Phyrexian mana, so if I don't have the 2 open mana, I can spend 4 of my life to do it instead. 2 life points in place of each single source of mana. Exile 3 creature cards from your graveyard and put an indestructible counter on Drivnod. Sheoldred, not the Apocalypse, but the other Sheoldred, still Phyrexian Praetor, still legendary creature, still 4/5, so they maintain the consistency. It costs 1 more because you can transform it into this Enchantment Saga you see to the right, but the opponent has to have 8 or more cards in the graveyard, and you have to have 5 mana available. But this is kind of similar to Aclazotz in the sense that you can get it back, right? You transform it into land, conditions are right, you get it back. Here we can transform it into the Enchantment Saga. At the end of the 3rd chapter, the Enchantment Saga goes away, you exile that, and then you return it face up and it becomes Sheoldred again. So no matter what the expansion, they're giving us some legendary creatures that are hard to permanently remove from the battlefield. Vraska Betrayal Sting, I have 1 copy of that, so that's my final Planeswalker. 2 Phyrexian Flesh Gorgers, Menace and Lifelink, and the ward you have to pay life equal to Phyrexian Flesh Gorger's power. And our 7 mana bomb Toxrill the Corrosive. I don't have any blue mana really to do the sacrifice slug part. And then 2 Virtues of Persistence. This kind of adds on to Sheoldred's Edict and Invasion of Innistrad for my 4th and 5th removal card. I do have kind of other stuff, right? Because I could sacrifice Enrico Domnathi and make them sacrifice a creature. So that's sort of like 4 more removal cards, right? And then we have Liliana's ability to make them sacrifice a creature as well. So if you add those 2 onto it, then, I'm down to I'm up to maybe 11 types of removal spells or abilities that are in there. And 12 if you include Vraska's ability, assuming I only get 1 shot at it. So I think that's an okay mix. Well, it's obviously not, because I still lose mostly to mono red, right? I haven't tweaked the deck to have a couple more removal spells, just because I wanted to showcase the Mythic Rare. So let's see if we can get anything except mono red for a change. I could have waited and chosen a recording that didn't start with mono red, but literally almost every match except 1 today has been mono red. So I'm like, I guess I'm recording against me losing against mono red all day, and that's what the recording's going to be. Once I hit record, I don't stop. So if this is mono red again, it's going to be mono red again. We do have 2 removal spells up front, so I'm much more comfortable with the prospect. Yay, it's not. That's probably why Arena gave me the removal spells up front, right? Because it wasn't mono red for a change. These would have been buried otherwise deep in the deck. That's been my experience today anyway. 3 colors at least. They have already got them by turn 2. Must be nice. Let's put this out there. Test the field. They're not missing a single land drop. They're also not doing anything. They're thinking about doing it. They've got blue, so you have to give them... There's going to be a pause at each phase, and you just have to resign yourself to waiting for them to decide. They take the hit. We're going to go ahead and see if they have counter spells. We skipped... We didn't put it down before combat, so there's no choice to make yet. She's just a 1/3 flyer. And there's a 4th color. Opponent did not miss a land drop. We did. We're going to draw another card. Hopefully we draw into a land. I want to get up to the 7. And we did not. Instead, they're just giving us extras of the same legendary card that we already have that we can't put down. Thank you so much, Arena. I'm just going to let it go. Their opponent has 7 cards. Do they hit another land? Yes, they do. Of course they do. 6 lands to our 4. This is how Arena always treats me, so whatever. Lightning strike there. Okay. Only using 1 energy. They take out the one thing. They must have another removal for Oni too, right? Yes, they do. Okay. Let's do another one. And still, you gotta be kidding me. After all of that, still no land draw. I guess we're getting rid of that. Technically, I should have gotten rid of Foxreel. This is another one of the Eldraine cards that can turn into a land. This has to be used as a land. I can't do that for anything else. We use Invasion of Innistrad now. Wait and see if they have a 1-mana spell they can use with their blue. Again, they're blue. We have to wait. And we're waiting. And we're waiting. And we're waiting. And they use Shore Up. Okay, of course they have 1 spell. Each player sacrifices a creature. So Hexproof doesn't help them. Now they can just start powering up the Restless Cottage if they want. And it's 7 lands to 5. And I still need my 7. Yay! What is that, 6? Welcome to another Enrika. We do the draw card first. Yay. In the turn. I'm still irritated that I had to get rid of one of those. Just because Arena wasn't going to give me land. Alright, we bring this puppy down. We make them sacrifice.
Those who get in my way tend to regret it. I've always hated crowds.
We'll go ahead and transform her. And we'll go after this thing. Eight lands. All 5 colors. They can cast almost any spell in the entire current standard. And they're just going to power up their land instead to take out the Planeswalker? Okay.
I knew this was a waste of time.
Alright. Notice we're still pausing. They have something in their hand that they can do. They could always just trigger this and get some life back. Exile target creature card from a graveyard. How about you? I get more zombies. They could have a board wipe, but yeah, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait a turn. Then we'll start putting down some big stuff. They're going to transform this back. They're going to transform it back. It is tapped. Yep, there's another one. So we're just doing an Eldraine type of thing. Alright, so we do Virtue of Persistence. Get rid of that one. Do Shieldred. Get rid of that one. Wait for it. Wait for it. There we go. And then we'll just swing in with all our zombies and stuff. Zombies and vampires. Coming soon to a theater near you. Thank you. Thank you very much. You see what happens when you don't play mono red? It's not pretty. Evidently, they don't have a board wipe. So this isn't the same expansion. This isn't from Eldraine, right? But it's still a god creature, so that's their theme. And
This is my home, and I don't appreciate it when people touch. Off you go.
they got all the land they needed. They had plenty of ability to cast anything they wanted, but they couldn't get the advantage on the battlefield. They needed like one extra turn tempo. They couldn't get it. So bringing back all of their impressive stuff and just constantly resurrecting their creatures was not going to work. They needed something more than just lightning bolts to help them out. Our opponent is Drakpak, and they've got... That is a vampire avatar, isn't it? Okay, so, do you have vampires? Don't tease me. That's not a vampire. Drakpak is using monks. Alright. We'll start with the Virtue of Persistence. We're actually up against mono red, and we got to go first for a change, so that's kind of fun. Bring down this. Poor Blade of the Oni, it never seems to survive long. It's not mono red, that's why. It's other colors. It's wolves. Wolves and monks? Playing together? Preposterous. Hello? I was gonna say, it's my turn. You're not blue. Why are you waiting that long? They're waiting to decide to kill the Blade of the Oni or not? Okay, so they're taking 3. On curve Shieldred the Apocalypse. What everybody hates to see, right? Just as much as facing mono red. Hello. They could be bluffing, but with 4 mana, they could easily do something against Shieldred. We do want to keep Shieldred around for another turn at least. Monstrous Rage, okay. It's a hit of 5. Anything else you want to do with these 3 mana? Audacity, okay. We could have done that earlier. It's okay. They gave me 2 of my 5 regular removal spells up front, so we're going to use them. And I'm going as fast as I can, but they're... I have to wait for them each second. Yeah, they can't do 18 points of damage with only 3 lands out. Those were cheap low-casting cards, and stuff we see from mono red like the Monster's Rage, so... What is this? Tanglespan Lookout? I haven't used a card with this yet. I made a deck with it yet. I use the cards that I win in my daily struggles as inspiration for what haven't I done yet for deck construction. So if you see something that's like, oh, enchantment aura, draw a card, that's a good hint that one of the things in my brain now is an enchantment aura deck. Three untapped mana. That is rare. We've got at least 3 colors. I don't have a 2-drop, so we'll use our tap land now. Classic wedding announcement stuff. Again, cheap stuff, right? We're going to count on the enchantment to help beef everything up. We will bring down Yawgmoth Protector now. the spell. Do you have a second go for the throat hand? Decadent Dragon instead. We don't get to see the cards that they've exiled either. Tap land, bring down Enrica, draw a card. Don't need to attack into that. They could just chump block enough to kill Shieldred right now. Up, there goes Shieldred. Here, get rid of that. We go ahead and transform Enrica, transform her now. We attack and get 3 life points back. And because we have Infernal Seer now, we can bring down the other one, and they won't compete as far as being legendary creatures. That's my card, so it might beat me with my deck. Not the greatest thing in the world. Let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, let's go ahead and bring out Virtue of Persistence. We'll draw a card. And we don't attack. We might have to block here with this Enrica. To Inferno. Uh-oh. Another deck and a dragon spell. Expensive taste, and it gets 4 of my cards. They're really trying to beat me with my deck. Not cool, man. It doesn't want to attack. They don't want to attack. They don't want me to bring that back, is what's going on. Okay, so let's do Treasure Map. Activate the ability. Toxtril is great. That's exactly what I've been waiting for. We pass the turn without doing anything else. Oh, sorry. Each player sacrifices a creature. Let's sacrifice Kix. Virtue of Persistence means I can just bring them right back the next turn. That's my card, right? That was one of my cards. Again, my card. Stuff from my deck.
Out of my way! I have a wedding to stop.
I've been waiting. I want to make a deck where you steal the opponent's stuff with 4 copies of Decadent Dragon. That would be a key feature of the deck. But I wasn't going to use things like Wedding Announcement in it. Not attacking at all. Just using Reinforced Ronin for life gain. We will bring back... Let's bring back Enrica. We'll bring down Toxtril. Draw a card. No attacks. Activate ability. Shoot. Do I take that? I think I don't take that. I mean, it's kind of a nice card to have, but I can bring all my stuff back with Virtue of Persistence anyway, so why save them? What other cards of mine do you have? Everybody gets +1. Okay. They can bring in Dragon. No, another one of my cards. Thanks. They're digging.
My ways are
Not
not
attacking.
for the weak.
All right. Gix comes back. This comes out like regular.
The reign of flesh is over.
Target creature. How about you?
Gaze into my eyes.
Each player sacrifices a creature. We're going to sacrifice Stone Nazi. And then I go after my own Planeswalker. Oh, this is going to take a long time, isn't it? Just because they kept stealing all of my
Have
cards.
some fight. I'll fix that.
Alright, I'll take Jaren. We transform the treasure map. I'm saving Takanuma. They're down to one of my creatures. Unless they have a way to get rid of, to deal with enchantments, my Virtue of Persistence is going to be able to take care of everything mentioned. That's nice. They've got enough backup. Maybe they can still get me before I can get them. Free land draw?
Nothing on Innistrad is
Not a
free.
bad setup. That's my card. Again. Okay, they've run out of my cards. Alright, what do we want? I feel like we need lifelink, but I want Toxrill. Alright, you. Target becomes treasure. You come down.
That of stone and flesh.
Target sacrifices
A
creature.
fight? And you think you can win? Sacrifices must be made.
And Jaren. Now we're just waiting for more board wipes, basically. A Planeswalker? They're trying to just ping me to death with War Leader's Call, basically. They might do it. Oh, they have
My
a Sheoldred's
ways
Edict?
are not for the weak.
Planeswalker, okay. Get rid of the one that only has one left. They're attacking? No way! You're gonna lose one of those. Also, I can give that lifeline. That was a mistake. Alright. I don't think I want one of their things. If that's okay with you. Really? Okay. Target creature becomes a treasure. There goes my
We'll
Planeswalker.
meet your
I have
end
much to
soon
explain.
enough.
Next, Enrica. Let's draw a card. Perfect. You take out you. You take out you. And we're going to give you lifelink.
Get out of my way!
We bring down Yawgmoth. And that's from my, yeah, Planeswalker. Planeswalker, Planeswalker. Thank you. Come on down.
Kapashk Imasak.
Ooh, that's
Patience.
nice.
We will win.
That's lovely. They need another dragon so that they can steal more of my stuff. I'm not sure why they're not bringing down any other dragons this whole time. I mean, they're 4/4 flyers. I've only got one. There you go. Sorry, it's a 6/6 flyer with everything they got. Alright, they used everything they could. Down to 4.
You will serve me well.
And they're attacking with that puppy. I think we have to block. That's got trample anyway, right? So we'll just get rid of this Ronin so they can't keep bringing him back every turn and pinging us for damage. My turn. What do we want? My graveyard. Where is this one? They have to sacrifice something right away. They should get rid of that. Next. Come on. Oh, we can't activate her because she's got summoning sickness. So, we get rid of the Decadent Dragon this way.
Gaze
Bring
into
down our
my
Bloodletter.
eyes.
Next to combat, transform. And then we attack with you to there. And that's it. And they can't kill it. But if they let it go, all that they lose is my Planeswalker. And they're still not willing to lose my Planeswalker. Give me back my Planeswalker! Okay, where's Treasure Cove? Sacrifice a treasure, draw a card. Ooh, that's a fun card. Okay, and I don't have to do that as a sorcery. So they've got one more chance to look at the top card of their library, and they've got one card hidden. And they're still at 20 life. So if they don't kill me this turn, they're probably going to scoop. 5 damage to everything.
I will rise again.
Get some slugs. Toxrill is still around. Woohoo! Yeah, baby. You have burned through all of my cards. Still not looking to get anything from your graveyard. Now you show up. Defend the whole game. Each player sacrifices a creature. That gives me Scry. This is a fun combination when you can team up Toxrill and killing creatures with Weatherlight completed. So I'm glad I got to show that. We'll probably make this the final battle just because this has been such a long drawn-out battle. I don't want to make the video too long. Up there goes my Toxrill. No. Oh, you're taking... No way. Aren't you dead now? Yeah, they're not going to wait for it. Because I could transform in Enrica next turn and do 12 points right away. In just one swoop. Alright, they don't want to give me the satisfaction. They got me down to 4 life points and they didn't want me to get anything back. Following in the normal traditional realm, if you're not mono red, then you're going to just pummel me until I get the upper hand and then you're going to run away. Alright, we'll go in and show you the deck one last time. That was a nice, epic, exciting battle. I needed everything I had. I needed all the mythic rare cards. Planeswalkers. Enchantments that kept bringing my other mythic rare cards back. That's the type of fight I like. Alright, so again, there's probably a case to be made, because when we go look at the overview, you can see I only have 24 lands, right? Come on. Yeah, still 24 lands, 24 creatures, 12 non-creatures. So 24 is not a bad number of creatures to have overall, but a case can be made in the current environment because it's so fast, because so many people are using 2 and 3 mana spells and 1 mana spells, that I should have more than just 2 Sheoldred's Edicts, 2 Virtues of Persistence, and 1 Invasion of Innistrad for my removal. But as you can see, if we do manage to get Virtue of Persistence out, it's kind of a game turner. If they don't have a way to take care of enchantments, you're almost guaranteed in a lot of cases. But our opponent put up a really big, long-running battle for a long time. That was pretty cool. Some of the cards that we didn't get to that are really good. We didn't get our Body Launderer out. That can be fun. We didn't get to use our own Sorin the Mirthless, although it did make an appearance. Bloodletter's really fun if we could get them out and keep them out to have them lose extra life. And of course, my new beloved creature, my new favorite creature of all time, Phyrexian Obliterator, didn't make a showing yet. In very low appearances by Phyrexian Fleshgorger. But we did manage to demonstrate most of the rest of the deck. And yeah, go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know what you think of the Mythic Rare Black deck. And as always, we ask you to like and subscribe. And I don't know if I'll manage to get a Mythic Rare Blue deck made in a timely manner or not, because I suspect that will be the hardest of all of them in the current quick environment. But I might give it a shot. So stay tuned for something like that in the future. And in the meantime, thanks everybody. Have a good one.